The rain had been falling for 3 hours straight, turning the busy Manhattan sidewalk into a river of umbrellas and hurried footsteps. Most people rushed past without a second glance. But Marcus Chen couldn't ignore her, a young woman, maybe 19 or 20, sitting cross-legged against the cold brick wall of his own office building. Her clothes were soaked through, her dark hair plastered to her face. Yet she held a cardboard sign that read, not hungry or help, but simply hope. Marcus had built his tech empire from nothing, clawing his way up from a one-room apartment where cockroaches were his only roommates. Now, at 35, he was worth more than most small countries. GDP, the irony wasn't lost on him that she sat outside, the very building where he'd just signed a deal, worth $50 million. But something about her quiet dignity in the storm stopped him cold. "Excuse me," he said, crouching down despite his $1,000 suit getting soaked. "Are you okay?" She looked up and her eyes, bright green against her pale, rain-streaked face, held no desperation, only a weary kind of grace. "I'm fine, sir. Thank you for asking. When's the last time you ate?" A pause. "Yesterday morning." Marcus felt something twist in his chest. In his wallet, he carried multiple credit cards, but one stood out, a black American Express Centurion card with virtually no spending limit. An idea formed, crazy and impulsive, but somehow right. "What's your name?" "Sarah," she said quietly. "Sarah, I'm Marcus." He pulled out the black card, its weight substantial in his hand. "I want to give you something, but first, I need to know, if you had unlimited money for one day, what would you do with it?" Her laugh was hollow. "That's a cruel question to ask someone like me." "I'm serious." He held up the card. "This has no spending limit. I'm going to give it to you for 24 hours. Do whatever you want with it. The only condition is that you meet me back here, tomorrow at this same time, and tell me what you did." Sarah stared at him like he'd lost his mind. "You're giving a homeless person an unlimited credit card? Do you know how crazy that sounds?" "Maybe, but I have a feeling about you." Marcus stood, rain still pelting his face. "Take it. I'll handle any consequences." With trembling hands, Sarah accepted the card. "Why would you do this?" "Because everyone deserves a chance to show who they really are when the world isn't watching." 24 hours later, Marcus stood in the same spot, anxiety gnawing at him. His CFO had called him insane. His security team had run scenarios of financial disaster. But he waited, hoping his instincts hadn't betrayed him. At exactly 5 p.m., Sarah appeared, but she looked different. Clean clothes, dry hair, and something else. A lightness in her step that hadn't been there before. She handed him the card without a word. "So?" Marcus asked, trying to keep his voice casual. "What did you do?" Sarah's smile was radiant. "I went to the children's hospital. First, St. Jude's. I paid off the medical debt for 12 families, kids with cancer, parents who were about to lose their homes. The look on their faces..." She paused, wiping her eyes. "Then I went to the women's shelter where I used to volunteer before I lost my job. I bought them supplies for 6 months. Food, blankets, hygiene products." Marcus felt his throat tighten. "What else?" "There's this elderly man, Mr. Rodriguez, who sits 2 blocks from here. He's been trying to save enough for his grandson's college textbooks. I took care of that. Then I found the soup kitchen that saved my life 3 months ago and bought them a new commercial kitchen setup." She laughed, shaking her head. "I felt like a fairy godmother, just going around making people's problems disappear." "Did you buy anything for yourself?" Sarah's cheeks reddened. "I got a hotel room, the first real bed I've slept in since May, and I bought my mom's medication. She's been rationing her insulin because she can't afford it." She looked down. "I hope that's okay." Marcus was quiet for a long moment. Behind Sarah, he could see his driver waiting by the black sedan. The warm glow of his penthouse office 40 floors above. His entire worldview felt like it was shifting. "Sarah, what happened to you? How did you end up on the street?" "I was a social worker," she said quietly. "Loved my job helping kids in foster care, but the agency lost funding, massive layoffs. I couldn't find work that paid enough to cover my student loans and rent. One thing led to another, and..." She gestured to the street. "I've been trying to get back on my feet for 4 months. You spent over $200,000 yesterday," Marcus said slowly. All of it on other people. I know it sounds crazy, but when you've been where I've been, you understand that kindness is the only currency that really matters. Money just makes kindness possible on a bigger scale. Marcus pulled out his phone and made a call. Jennifer? Yes, it's Marcus. I need you to draft an offer letter. Director of Community Outreach, Chen Technologies. Starting salary, $150,000, plus full benefits and a $50,000 signing bonus. He looked at Sarah, whose eyes had gone wide. Yes, I'm serious. Send it over immediately. When he hung up, Sarah was crying. I don't understand. You just taught me something I'd forgotten, Marcus said, his voice thick with emotion. I built this company to change the world, but somewhere along the way, I got so caught up in profits and market share that I forgot why I started. You reminded me that success isn't about how much you can accumulate. It's about how much you can give away. But you don't even know me. I know enough. Yesterday, I gave you the power to take anything you wanted, and you chose to give everything away. That tells me more about your character than any resume ever could. 6 months later, Sarah had not only revolutionized the company's community outreach program, but had also inspired Marcus to pledge half his fortune to charitable causes. The Chen Foundation, with Sarah as its director, became one of the most innovative philanthropic organizations in the country, focusing on preventing homelessness rather than just addressing it. The black credit card sat in Marcus's desk drawer, a reminder that sometimes the most profound tests aren't about what someone will take when given the chance, but what they'll give. And sometimes, the people who have the least to give have the most to teach us about generosity. On the anniversary of that rainy day, Marcus and Sarah returned to the spot where they'd met. This time, Sarah carried a different sign, one that read, Hope shared is hope multiplied. They set up the foundation's mobile outreach unit, providing job training and housing assistance to those in need. Marcus realized that giving Sarah that credit card had been the best investment he'd ever made. Not because of the money was just paper and numbers, but because it had revealed the truth that wealthy people often forget. The richest people aren't those who have the most, but those who give the most freely. And sometimes it takes losing everything to understand what wealth really means.